Welcome everybody to our live stream here on lichess and Twitch. I'm your host, International Master William Pascal. Yevgeny Viktorovich said, I'm going to give it a try even though my morale is lower than Nope's. Alright, we've got Sparkle Horse, Yevgeny, welcome. Chess, Biddy World, Bolt Blixton, BM13, Mahar, AP87, Ruslan Bear, Lawrence Duffy, and Asterbait. 10 players thus far. We've got 13 minutes. 13 minutes till the tournament starts. Karpov once beat Kasparov 3 games in a row. It seems like such a long time ago. Who was counting? In those days, who was counting? Uber driver, what's up? The mysterious Uber driver. Alright. Yeah, what I'm most astounded by is like the Palmiachi's horrifying time management. He had like 50 minutes left to Magnus's 15 in a totally equal position when he blundered a piece. It just seems like he was destroyed by the first loss. I mean, I don't know. Everything was alright till the 100 move. The 130 move disaster. It's over, folks. Magnus Carlsen almost certainly cannot be stopped. Not this time, anyway. I'm looking forward to the next candidates tournament. Alright, so we got 10 players. No, I mean, like, I don't know, dude. Next World Championship, maybe. You know, it just makes, like, honestly, this kind of Carlsen's turning into a blowout, but it makes us have to respect Caruana and Karyakin for how evenly they matched Carlsen, really, in classical chess. I think for me, it if anything, makes me really respect and admire how they held Magnus, you know, both of those guys, honestly. how much of a fight they really gave him in the last two matches. You can resign the match, right? Nobody would do that. Would that, like, violate his contract or something? And people definitely, like, resign matches before. Do you have like a contractual obligation to finish all the games now? Alright. We've got 10 minutes till the next round. Anyway, welcome everybody. Well, without an interesting World Championship to talk about, things are a little quiet here. In the first part of the match, our fear was that every game would be a draw. Now we're worried, like, will he even be able to play the last few games? I was so close to really seriously considering putting money on every game being a draw. Little did we know. Season ticket holders. Yeah, I don't want to miss those, like, hopeless last few games, Mr. Coffee. It's definitely like leaving the stadium early because the game is over at a baseball or football game. Magnus touched a piece during the game and went with another piece. Interesting. Well, I mean, there was nothing wrong with the English Percy Hepworth. What I don't get is his time management, you know? Why does he have like 50 minutes left on move 27 when Magnus has 15? And it's like my simul games where I'm just constantly whining and complaining about people not using their time. Basically, it's just an example of the same thing. The Palmiachi not properly using his time. If he took that like 40 of those 50 minutes that he had left and like properly used the time to play better moves than he did, he would have had a slight advantage. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Beyond just like blundering. So he blundered, but in the first place, maybe he could have had a slight edge if he actually used his time. Well, if he didn't play c5, it was like 0.00. It had been for like several moves. You know when it's like 0.00 in a non-symmetrical position, it's going to be another 130 move loss against Magnus, probably. The last time we had 0.00 in a seemingly complicated position, that's where Nepomniachtchi... And by the way, when Nepomniachtchi lost the first game, did anyone notice? For me, like, very, very notable was the fact that all that time in that 130 move game, Nepomniachtchi always had more time than Carlsen. He always had more time. You know, but why? Because Magnus isn't afraid to go down to like 2 minutes. He knows how to manage the clock better. You know, this is a huge skill. Magnus's skill with clock management is brutal. You know, he's just better at managing time. No question. No, I think if he hadn't blundered c5, it would have been another 100 move 0.0 game where he either draws or Magnus beats him somehow. He just saved us a lot of time. Rather than lose a drawn position, he just like flat out just dropped a piece instead. Why lose to Magnus in 130 moves when you could just lose in 30? Save yourself the extra 100. No, the dude's time management is just superior. Magnus uses his time. He knows how to play when he's in time pressure. He knows how to manage the time with increment better than anybody. When they had the first game where Magnus won in the 130 move game, Magnus' clock was always like, you know, lower, down to under 2 minutes. Nepomniachtchi kept having more than 4 minutes. It reminded me a lot of streams where people think that having more time is better, necessarily. Having more time isn't necessarily better, because you can't take it with you. Congratulations to Nepomniachtchi for having 50 minutes when he resigned. It does a lot of good at that point. So Hikaru said old habits die hard. Well, no, I mean, I think the English was a good choice for an opening. He was obviously getting nothing with the Spanish. Some kind of sensible decision to play that. He may have had a microscopic advantage at some point, but then it's playing too fast again, you know? You're just playing too fast. It's like my simul's where people have all their time. That's what it reminds me of. Time is a resource. Why not use it? You know, you're playing in the World Championship. Do you think Magnus is going to like lose on time if you play real fast or something? I think that's what he thinks. And the problem is, I guess Nepomniachtchi like pressures other people on the clock or something, like he's Kovalenko or something. That works against weak players, but it doesn't work against, or even average grandmasters, but it doesn't work against Magnus. You can't try to like flag Magnus by playing fast. You just end up not using your time. Yeah, it works against average players and weaker grandmasters. But obviously it's not working here. Because Magnus has like nerves of steel. Anyway, that was nice. At least we got to see some exciting Petrov defense. And anti-Marshall. What's up, anti-Arsenal fans? My favorite moment of the match was like watching the noob chat room go crazy when the computer pointed out that Nepomniachtchi c5 loses a piece, It was like scrolling down like thousands of comments. Like instantly, everyone realized the computer says he's lost. There must have been like tens of thousands of people logged on lichess watching. Like, what if Magnus didn't see it? You know, what's the chances that he didn't see it? Trapping a piece pretty obviously. I would say it was like 1 in 1,000 chance that Magnus would miss trapping the bishop on b7. Probably as big as 1 in 1,000. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure psychologically. You say, oh, well, the guy played like a 1900. He played like a 2300. Here, this guy has never played in a world championship match. Like, against maybe the greatest player of all time. Just simply, like, he wasn't up to it psychologically. Again, my take is that, like, all the more credit to Caruana and Karyakin for how tough they fought Magnus, you know? Rather than make fun of Nepomniachtchi for being a 1900, I say kudos to Caruana for the last match, where he basically drew the match and lost in rapid, you know? Mr. Coffee with 300 bits, our first donation of the week. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, Magnus didn't really beat Caruana. He defended, you know, he drew the match. I don't count rapid as a world championship, but as far as I'm concerned, if you can't beat him, you know, he's still the world champion. I say Caruana drew his match against Magnus, but it's not enough. You got to beat him. 1 minute to go. Welcome to the tournament. We're hosting Pawnda Rapid Swiss here, starting in 1 minute. Right, Karyakin also. So they both deserve a lot of credit. Right, he almost won. Karyakin almost won. Don't forget. They were more stable somehow psychologically. Mr. Coffee, very generous 300-bit donation. Thank you for that. I'm getting a challenge from Tao Disciple at 5+3. We're hosting a tournament here. You're still puzzled on why Magnus offered a draw in the last game with Fabi. Position was really good for him. Oh, God. Well, I mean, you know, I'm not sure. We all see the computer evaluations. Time to start. Arsenal fan is now the second seed. Arsenal fan now 23-18 in rapid. He's ahead of Uber driver Viktorovich. I feel like going into Zen mode, like it's a simul. Someone wants to join the team. Alchemist doesn't have enough games. You have to have 100 games to join our team. 100 rated games, please. I'm sorry for declining anyone's joining our team, but that's our rule. We try to stick to it. You must have 100 rated games other than Bullet. So new accounts with just a few games, I'm not going to accept. You're welcome to apply again, and I'll accept you when you have more than 100 rated games outside of Bullet chats. Yeah, Arsenal fan. 2300 rapid. He's putting on the weight. Karakan, I forgot. $100 any games other than Bullet. To join this tournament, you have to have 30 rapid games. Mikhail Tao, you're not in the team? You have to join the team to join the tournament. You have to request to join the team. I thought you already did. There he is. Accept. I like how people unjoin and then join again. Unjoiners. They're annoyed by the messages. I send 3 messages every week. Knight F7. No, that's not really a move here. I guess Knight D7 is okay. No, it's impressive that Arsenal's up to 2nd place in the field. We've had some strong tournaments lately where there have been 10 plus players over 2200. Of course, there's no Schieber-Spieler. I don't know. This is not really a serious variation. Bobby Fischer claimed it was good for white. But I wasn't there when he supposedly made his claims about this variation being better for white. Honor bound to be sleazy. I think we should castle kingside. No, I don't honestly think that this variation is better for white. I really don't know much about it. I just decided to throw something out there that my opponent might not know. It feels kind of like an e6 Caro-Kann formation. Looks correct from my perspective what black's doing here. That looks correct. What am I doing? What am I doing? What the bloody hell? This is... Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is very solid for black. Knight e7, Knight c6, blah, 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 blah. It's the French. Maybe if I put my pieces on crazy random squares, he'll do something wrong. This is probably a crap move. Queen g4. I'm trying to stay away from f4 if possible. That was bad. Yeah. Dick Van Dyke. Something like that. I have better and worse moments. I haven't practiced my English accent enough lately. Probably need to spend some time in the UK. Watch some Sherlock Holmes movies or something. I don't know. I need to watch more BBC specials. Let's see if there's anyone trying to join the tournament. Trying to join the team, that is. Join the team. Dick Van Dyke, aka the Chimney Sweep. From what's that called? Is Dick Van Dyke still alive? I hate that when you like can't remember if people died or not. And they died like 10 years ago and you didn't even get that message. And it's embarrassing. You're like, oh, Dick Van Dyke died like 12 years ago. People keep thinking Spassky's dead, and he's not dead. I think that was his point, Mikhail Tal. He said my accent is bad. I say, you know, he's basically insulting. He's insulting my poor imitation of British accent by calling me Dick Van Dyke. I guess that's the point. Yeah. I think it sounded pretty bad. I've done better. It definitely wasn't my best. Now we have another request to join the team. Guys, check out our YouTube channel. Video chess. No, nobody's there. I hate the fact that won't go away. It drives me crazy. Okay, night before. Good for you. You're gonna get my guy. So 93 or 92? 92? 92 could lead to problems with queen c2. So I think we're better off going here. Chimney. Yeah. Dick Van Dyke is still alive. Unlike Bob Dole. No. He never passed away. Therefore, he's still alive. Imagine that Arsenal fan is English. Not a lot of Americans calling themselves like Arsenal fan. Dick Van Dyke is dead? Jerry Van Dyke is dead. Who the heck is Jerry Van Dyke? What are you talking about? He has like a brother named Jerry? Wow. Wow. So 99% of tactics don't work. This one might. Nope. No Easter eggs, Edward. Yeah, this actually works. I was just kind of like worried about some tactics that isn't existing. Tactic that's not existing. Works, I think. He also has h5. Well, h5 nearly wins a piece. There I have queen h3 at least. Whew, tactical buzzsaw. I just throw my pieces out there randomly and hope for a lucky tactic. Thanks for joining our tournament. Thanks, Mr. Coffee, for the donation earlier. And we had nothing new to report. That's how this gambit is generally played. Gambit? What? Hey, Rick, what are you talking about, this gambit? What do you mean, what gambit? This is no gambit. This is e4, c6, knight f3, d5, e takes d5, c takes d5, knight e5. Did you think it was like a French, you thought it was a Milner-Barry gambit. It's just like this random line of the Caro-Kann. Yeah. Right, with my queen on g4. Oh, I could play one of those queen g4. Okay, yeah, I've done that before. Right, it's similar with the queen on g4. No, it's a Caro-Kann, Bobby Fischer mineral bath variation. Fischer was here, actually not far from where I live, in Széchenyi, Ferdo, with some people where he supposedly, they were playing with the chess set, you know, in the floating chess sets, and a friend of mine told me that he was analyzing and raving about this variation being better for white. So he really thought this was like something. F5. We were skeptical. Why can't I just take en passant? Only the shadow knows. I guess he's going to try some crazy sort of king f7. And my rook is hanging. Please don't let me forget. Please don't let me forget to mention, ladies and gentlemen, that my queen e8 check is funny. Man, I have bishop d2. Do you think this works? Do you think it works? Bishop d2. Bishop d2, queen d2, queen e6 check. King g6, f7 check. King up. He has king h5 there. Yeah, that's a little messy. Yeah, I would not try it with 27 seconds, exactly. That was basically what I came up. That's what I was thinking. We're not going to do that when I have very little time left. No, I think he like walks his king up and he might even have g5. I'm not 100% sure I have a mate there. And my rook is hanging. His queen's on d2 threatening back rank mates. That's kind of dangerous. This looks much more definitive. Very definitive, actually. Queen h5 was a good idea. All right, finally. Back to the tournament. Let's see. Alright, back to tournament. Please, go back to tournament. Hello. Alright, Don't Cry Wolf, Sparkle Horse, Arsenal fan. Who's still playing? Sumeher. Uber driver. Tough game. Wow. Super Sumer. Of course, both of these players quite quick and strong. The tile variation. Uber driver doing too much Ubering. And he's got that. But I don't like the way he did this. Uber driver's cutting this way too close. Maybe pawn takes was interesting. Maybe not. Maybe not on second thought. Does Uber have this under control? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Controlling both checking squares, and he's still got the outside G pawn. He's got it under control. Whew, that was close. He cut that a bit too close. Christmas shopping. Yeah, I hate when I forget to go Christmas shopping. Too late for Amazon to arrive. When in doubt, keep it simple. Boom. Well, he's got it. He's got it. Alright. This is Uber Driver winning king and pawn in game. There's another game still going on. No? Where's the other one? No. There is. Locker Guide, Heroku, Bolt Blixton. Why couldn't I find that? It's over. Haruko versus Haruko. Heroku versus Bolt Blixton. Bolt Blixton winning a queen. So a lot of players. Grant, why does it keep saying 2 ongoing games though, when there's really only 1? Alright, we've got one last game. It's over. Sumer playing for sort of... Ooh, even Princess Chess is in. Played against... She never plays. Played against Arsenal. Thomas Streinson made it. He said he might not be able to make it. So a lot of people who haven't been around for these tournaments in a long time. Move 11. Break out the Smurf account. We've got 21 players and it's still early. Only just starting the second round. So Locker Guide with 2,300. Lost against the Crying Wolf, who's now #1 seed. Crying Wolf. WJ Loof is here. The 50K cheer badge. We don't see a lot of orange cheer badges. Mr. Slow used to have one, but he was upgraded. You're dropping out. Alright, yeah, Arsenal does that a lot. He'll like win the first game. Arsenal usually waits till he's like 3 or 4-0 and then drops out. Uber driver has to Uber. He has to do his moonlighting for Lyft. Alright, so there's a lot of people like around 2,300. Arsenal, Yevgeny, Uber driver, 10-year-old 2200. Chespity World. Bolt Brixton. Astrobate's in 10th place with a bye. Uber driver, did you ever drive a taxi? Or you just started driving for Uber and Lyft? Did you do taxi driving? On your way to 2000. Nice. No taxi. A lot of Boston chess players drove taxis. Well, not a lot, but I know a few. Bolt Brixton. They're like either college... The taxi drivers are usually like college professors or chess players. E4. Some sort of academic losers. Failed writers, artists, right? And they speak 3 languages. I'm about to fall asleep. I shouldn't eat pasta. I shouldn't eat pasta for dinner. Too much carbohydrates, not good. Health food dinner. Here we go again. Wait, Bolt Brixton. I'm thinking of the other player. Who's the other guy who plays the Stonewall attack? It's not you, right? What do you think about Ian's opening choice? I thought the opening choice... I didn't, like, get a good look at it. I just saw it was in English with G3. But I like the general idea of what he did. He should have done that, like, at least one game earlier. Clearly he was getting nothing in that lame... He was getting nothing in that lame classical style of game. And playing an imbalanced, opening like the reverse Sicilian seems like a good idea, right? Now, Bolt Brixton and I, we've had a number of games like this. I didn't see the game to talk about it in detail. All I can comment on is the general concept of opening choice, which I thought was good. But I mean, my take is that Nepomniachtchi may be psychologically like destroyed, but his time management is horrible. He like lost a piece with 50 minutes on the clock. Like what the heck? He's playing like one of my simul opponents on Sundays. He sounds like he acts like he's played too much internet blitz and bullet or something. What if he took the 50 minutes that he had left when he resigned and actually used it to play good moves instead? I'm thinking. I had a brief talk about it at the beginning of the stream. I mean, is he trying to pressure Magnus on the clock? Is that the point? He's trying to put the pressure on? That's not going to work, man. This isn't... You're not playing a 2200. But I mentioned this before. Not just this game, but the game where he lost the first time. Like, seriously? He had more time always in the time pressure, in the sort of late stage when they had 100 moves or it was a draw but he lost. He always had more time than Magnus. He always had more time. It was like he was focusing on always having more time. Like, that was the most important thing. Not playing the best move, but having more time. Just an observation, I don't know. Maybe it has nothing to do with anything. But that's my observation. For whatever it's worth. Man, I've had this kind of line against a bunch of players. No, I think it's very amateurish time management. I feel like I had another game with somebody where I did this exact same thing. Maybe it was Zen Chess. It must have been against Zen Chess, who hasn't been on. He hasn't been on our stream to play in a long, long time. Hope he's all right. I know it's not that easy to join us from the U.S. time zone. Always. Should I play knight h6? Maybe with the idea of f5. Looks kind of risky. No, in Anand's defense, Anand is an unbelievable rapid blitz player. Does anyone know when the last game was won with black pieces in the World Championship? Nope. Maybe. Good question. I didn't really remember the previous match. Did anybody win a game with black? Caruana Carlson, did someone win a game with black? We could go step by step. Besides today, I think he's... That's the implication I'm getting. I think that WJ Loof is... Other than, prior to today, when was the last time that someone won? Incredible says, for some reason I think I remember liking knight takes b5, knight takes b5, knight f6, e5, knight d5. Did I play that? Did I play knight f6? Well, I don't play knight f6. Yeah, I mean I don't like that. That's why I'm delaying that knight f6 move. It's basically a Ross Limo reversed. Well, I probably should just castle here, realistically. Without the queen, it's hard for him to mate me. Could not be here. Did you enjoy the Magnus? The long Magnus game? As much as Jan did? As much as you did? I don't think that Jan enjoyed it. But someone made an interesting point that no, I didn't enjoy it. I was like busy working and I couldn't really follow it. I just assumed it was a draw. In fact, after it was over, honestly, to be completely honest, after that was over, I just thought it was a draw. I didn't even go back to check the result. I saw it like a game. I saw the game at like 120 something moves, and I just, it was like 0.00, and I didn't check the moves, and I just saw it was over, and I just assumed it was a draw. And like half an hour later, I went to check the games again and realized it, or saw somewhere that he had lost. I was actually surprised. But somebody I saw, someone I was talking to recently made the point that they felt that Jan was playing for a win, and I think that was a mistake. And that's also connected to what I'm saying here. I mean, you always want to win, but that's kind of connected to what he did, like with the bad time management. You can't treat Magnus like he's some noob, you're going to like pressure him on the clock and he's going to crack. Jan should have just played for the draw in that game, He should definitely just have played for a draw and drawn. Like, why was he trying to win there against Magnus? Magnus is the god of winning drawn positions. Why are you trying to beat him at his own game, Just get to draw. Just get to draw there, That's not where you're supposed to be trying to beat Magnus. You're supposed to be beating him with, like, complex tactical positions. Not in a technical ending, where it's probably objectively a draw anyway, and you end up losing, hoisted on your own petard or whatever. But I mean, did he lose? I didn't really get time to check it. He lost because he tried too hard to win. That's what happened, like, as a matter of fact. Point of fact. How did I lose to Uber Driver when I withdrew from the tournament? Well, you must have forfeited. You must have not withdrawn or something. Maybe you thought you withdrew and you didn't. That's the only real explanation. Well, it was nice knowing you, Bishop Pair. He's just that good. He's like even Magnus. Magnus could do that too. Yeah, I mean, you got to be content with a draw against Magnus in a technical ending. That's 0.0. He's trying to win like he's Hikaru playing some noob in bullet chess or something. But look at the time. Look at the time. Actually, Excel Poker, you're a good example of a player who has decent time management skills. You're not afraid to let your time go down low, like, Magnus, as we could see. I'm not afraid. Sometimes I take it too far, but I'm not afraid to be behind on the clock. But it's like Nepomniachtchi had constantly like 4 minutes to Magnus's like minute and a half, and a huge portion of that end game, where it's pretty tough. Like, you can't go to the bathroom. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I think that's kind of messed up. The whole thing with increments, where at the end of the game you have to play for an hour without being able to go to the bathroom or something like that. Technically, there should be some kind of a rule that you're allowed like a timeout, I mean, you should really, if this is the way it's going to be, you should get like a 5-minute timeout at some point where you're allowed to just like stop the game. No one can look at the board or whatever. I know they can still analyze in their head, but just, it's crazy that you sit there and you can't get up to go to the bathroom, like at the end stage when it's 30-second increments. So you have to just resign or what, I mean, that's kind of messed up. Just another observation. How about this move? This is kind of dangerous. Let's not and say we did. No, I'm saying WJ-Loof. It's like the people in my simuls. Yeah, you gotta pee in your pants, but peeing in your pants is not what I'm really worried about. You do what you have to do, but it could get worse than that. If you pee in your pants, it's no big deal. There could be bigger problems. They should have a timeout or some kind of, seriously. I mean, if there was like a medical emergency, what would happen, by the way? The arbiters have the time. The arbiters have the power to stop the game, like temporarily or something, I assume. In all seriousness. I guess. But I don't like the time control. But anyway, besides that, no, my point is exactly, WJ-Loof. Nepomniachtchi's time management sucks. It sucks. It sucks to drop a piece when you have 50 minutes more than your opponent. Why does he have 50 minutes more than Magnus? Because Magnus actually used his time to try to play the best possible moves. Whereas Nepomniachtchi just seems to be like, playing fast like he's just playing a bullet game on lichess or something. This is what 99% of my opponents in the simuls do. Everybody plays too fast. Now even Nepomniachtchi's doing it in the World Championship. No, I played a tournament in Canada, Uber Driver, where the power went out. They had to adjourn all the games. And that could still happen, obviously, today. No, I think it's atrocious time management. But he's destroyed psychologically. And he's like doubly destroyed now. It was bad enough after the first game he lost. Like someone said, old habits die hard. But you're playing Magnus, who's the god of grinding drawn endings. I don't think he has any business like trying to win that endgame, Even though there's a theoretical possibility you could against a weak player. Do you really think Magnus is going to lose that? I wasn't surprised. If someone's going to lose it, it's going to be Nepomniachtchi. With the knight and the couple pawns like that, that's way trickier. I think that's way trickier than the queen. Honestly, I'm not at all surprised. That's what happened. No draw. Black's got more time and I'm better. Oh, the exchange sacrifice. Nice. Speaking of good time management skills, let's try to set a good example. Playing too fast. To be honest, I'm not using my time properly. Primarily because I thought I was comfortably better this whole game. Not that easy. A bolt from the Blixton. Got to get our pieces in the game here. Damn. Wow. What am I doing? A weird hallucination. Rook takes f5. He was holding. Albeit like a very complicated ending. I'm not going to accept a draw, although I was getting down there where the time was even and I wasn't breaking through. I think he was fine, but it was complicated. I might have been a hair worse trying to win there. Once he plays like rook a7, rook a6. Oh man, Tomas Trenson. Yeah, he's brutal with the clock. He's the clock master. Doing that to me in Simulus. Zuber Driver 2, Sparklers 2, Arsenal Fan 2, Yevgeny 2, 10-year-old 2, Mikhail Ta 1.5. Thanks, guys, for playing. We got 7 rounds, 5 to go. That was a hairy kind of game. Again, I have like the longest game. Not a convincing win, though. Bold Blixen showed good time management. Actually, he used his time down to his increments. Started defending really well. Wasn't for the freaky, like, Rook takes f5. He's not probably losing. I have no idea what's happening. I think I was probably equal. I don't think I was worse. If I was worse, just slightly, but I didn't feel like I was in any danger of losing. Though it could have gotten out of control if he wins my queenside pawns. But it was a brave and interesting sacrifice, Rook takes e6 from Bold Blixen, and I think probably a reasonable practical sack. Bloody clock. Man, I think I'm gonna need a beer. I haven't had a beer in 2 days. What is today? Tuesday? Let's see, Sunday, Monday. This is 2 days with no 2 days with no alcohol. I had a friend who I used to train with, and he claimed I would melt down if I didn't. 3 hours. He said 3 hours was my maximum. I have not had a bear. You're going to have a lot of bear soon. The bears will be invading. You live in Canada. Canada's safe for now. Dancing bears, maybe. But isn't it? Well, Alaska, yeah. Alaska could be a problem. Well, it's a good thing Mr. Biden's having a meeting today. Can maybe hold off that bear invasion for another week or so. Oh no. The D takes c4. Alright, I just played a game of move 11 and I know this sucks, but since it's fresh in my mind, I'm going to play the sucky variation just to avoid theory. For your mental health, get a beer. Alright. Dr. W.J. Loof recommends getting a beer for mental health. I think I need it. Beer slows down the progress of dementia. I can feel it. Yeah, I mean, how focused is the Pomniachi if he didn't see that his bishop gets trapped? So, Yevgeny here playing really passive bishop e7. No, I mean, it's like a psychological meltdown. Like, totally. The Pomniachi, with the 3 games he lost, it was... Seems like everything feels very connected. I don't like his approach to this match with openings and trying to win that endgame where he should have been trying to draw. And his time management. No, perhaps he'll have another chance one day. So d5. d5 takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes. I feel like we had this game once before. Not my only approach here. Maybe it's even a concrete mistake, but I hate d takes c5. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like b5 in the second loss was like lashing out because, you know, but I mean, seriously, the guy's one of the best players in the world. Is he gonna panic and freak out because he lost one game? And is that our explanation? Like, oh, he was so upset he lost one game that he freaked out and played b5 on the black side of a boring Petrov line where you're trying to draw. You know, Alex Baburin was like on Facebook saying that he felt, you know, the problem was that he was upset from the other game, but he already had a game in between to chill out, you know, try. Maybe he needs like a psychologist or something. I think players at that level should have sports psychologists for sure. I mean, Karpov and Kasparov definitely had like psychological advisors and stuff. I mean, if you know, at this point, if he can't get over losing a game, the problem is the match structure, you know, where it's like 14 games, there's lots of draws, like losing one game is basically you're done. It's pretty bad if like losing one game and you're basically done. Then what do I do here? A4. I've argued lately that there should be like more frequent world championships. For example, is one suggestion. I definitely don't like 14 games. I think it's not enough. But the whole thing of making the match shorter, having rapid playoffs, it's all for this fallacy of making chess more exciting for the spectators. So we can satisfy Maurice Ashley's dream of making chess like the NFL. But chess isn't, you know, the NFL. So stop trying to turn it into the NFL or UFC or something. Just accept chess for what it is. Another awful thing I saw was 538. There's this journalist on 538 who's written a series of articles. I don't remember his name, but he's like, chess is broken because like the first like 6 games of the match were drawn or something. Like, dude, are you serious? How much do you know about chess history if you think chess is broken because Nepomniachtchi and Carlsen have had like 6 draws in a row or something? Get out of here. Chess is broken if you want it to be like, I don't know, TikTok video material, yes. It's not going to cut it. No, the other thing that I didn't repeat was, if the match is drawn, it's drawn. If it's tied, it's tied. Then the champion stays champion. That's the way many world championships were decided. Probably it's not exciting enough for Maurice Ashley and I'm just using him as an example. The people who want to popularize chess and make it more exciting. Make chess great again. Make it cheap again. Make chess cheap again. Make it cheaper. Cheapen it. And dumb it down. This movement has been in place for a long time. Make the time controls faster. Make it, you know, why not just simplify the rules? Make it a smaller board. Like, 6x6 or something. With less pieces. That'll speed it up. Seriously. Can't we just make it a smaller board? Come on, Maurice. We'll put little goalposts at the edge of the board for when the pawns get to the other side. Magnus is getting out of his chair. There have been a lot of exciting and wonderful World Championship matches where there were tons of draws, of course. It's part of the game. Then there's the people who want to like eliminate draws. Problem is that draw is an important rule. Are we gonna like do away with stalemate and or what? Oh, Yevgeny, what am I gonna do with you? Yevgeny. He's so solid. Damn. Just move his... Something's not feeling right about this. No, I don't like rook there. Doesn't seem right. Princess Chess, sometimes that's trickery. Saves a loss. Oh, come on. Some of the games that I drew were like my favorite games of all time. Exactly. Seriously. Saving a lost position. Okay, I know that's not possible against Magnus. But like Princess Chess, of course. Like some of the greatest games I ever played. I like made videos about games that I drew for chess lecture. I mean, some of my most satisfying games were draws. Literally games where I was like this close to losing and saved the game or something. It's a huge part of the game. It's not boring because it's a draw. I don't know what to do here. I just didn't know what to do. Yevgeny's totally frozen me. Just wasted a tempo. Yeah, we have to do our best, Magnus Carlsen. Yo, do you think like he kind of sucked the Pawnda in? Like intentionally? In a way? Getting lower on the clock? When they had that 100 move thing? Is he sort of luring the Pawnda into... Because I mean, I've seen a lot of strong players lose in their opponent's time pressure over the years, you know? Did he know he could do that? Do you think it was like almost possibly intentional? Like he would be susceptible to overpressing? I thought in the beginning that Magnus might even overpress himself, because he has in the past. Yeah. I didn't really think about it, you know. I thought Magnus was fine, you know. Magnus was content with a draw. Honestly. He was content with a draw, I'm sure. He knew it was a possibility. But I have to see the game. I mean, I didn't play through the 130 moves. I saw bits and pieces of it. Check out Yevgeny now. Bishop b5. What the bleep? How dare you play Bishop b5? Trying to be a nice, peaceful guy trading pieces with you. And you refuse to trade pieces with me. I'm not good enough for you to trade pieces with me, or what? You're too good to trade pieces? I'm just talking trash. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I've seen Magnus overconfident before. He has lost games, I think, in many cases, when he was overconfident. But I'm not sure I ever saw him do it in one of the World Championship matches. I've seen him do it in random tournament games. Against Dubov, against Ding Liren. In the past, against the Pomniachi. In independent tournament games, I would say. I think here he was too. Thanks, Mikhail Tal. Yeah, it's definitely looking like we need a new layout. Yeah, I know I'd like to update it. We should update the layout. I agree. Point taken. Now what do I do? Now my A pawn won't be secured. Unsecured A pawn. Things are getting weird now. A little weird. I don't know. Queen takes, bishop e2. The layout isn't the only thing that's getting dated, Mikhail Tal. I might be playing in the World Senior next year. Wow, knight c4. Hey, Evgeny, speaking of overconfident. You know what's really weird? The ambulances here sound like a Pac-Man ghost. Some, not all of them, but some of the ambulances have Pac-Man ghost sound when they, you know, when you eat one of them and they start blinking. Like, it sounds exactly like that. Yevgeny's down to 6 seconds. You see, now that's the mistake we don't want to make. Getting overconfident. Yeah, check him out. Check it out, Wendy. Getting overconfident because we have more time. Wait, what am I doing here? Totally screwing this up. That's what we're doing here. Another lucky victory. FIDE rated tournaments in the US, yeah, they're very inconsistent. Bigger tournaments where you have to pay like a big entry fee tend to be FIDE rated. Whereas like local ones are hit or miss. I remember I won the New England Open back in 2013, the last 2014 maybe. I think around 2014. I guess it was 2014. And maybe like the last US tournament I played in, one of the last ones, I think I played in 2015. Let's say I won the New England Open, which was like a 6-round, fairly strong local tournament. And I thought it was FIDE rated. Like, it was always FIDE rated. And I win it. I get like 5 out of 6, clear first. I expect to gain like 30 ELO points. And then the director's like, oh, by the way, we're not FIDE rating it this year. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I just gained like 30 rating points. Oh no, we're not rating it. It costs too much money, or something like. We're just let you know like after you won the tournament that we're not gonna submit it for FIDE ratings. I was like, dude. And my friend who lost like all his games was like, yes, that's great. Yeah, it's really, really random. Generally, they're advertised beforehand. This was kind of perhaps not so clear. But yeah, the bigger national ones tend to be FIDE rated. But the problem is, if FIDE charges money for these tournaments to be rated, which like I'm against that. I think that's bad. That's why like every player in India is like 400 points underrated. It's definitely bad for the rating system and the accuracy of the rating system for these tournaments to have to be like large fees paid. I think they should try to find corporate sponsorship. I mean, it's nice that there's like millions of dollars donated to the World Championship. But how about just like, getting sponsorships from companies for things like tournament fees and ratings? That would be nice. For example. People also have to pay for their individual titles. So if you take a country where the average cost of living is much lower, I mean, there's a lot of rich people in India, but still, if you take the average person, they can't afford to pay, as much money. They can't afford to pay for big entry fees and to pay for their candidate master title and all this. I can't remember if we've played this before. I don't usually use this move order with white. So whenever like a player comes to Hungary from India, they're like slaughtering grandmasters. Like now, there's a GM tournament. I think like an Indian FM is winning the tournament. But this has to do with a lot of factors. But I think the rating system is messed up by this, being dependent on fees. It doesn't cost that much money to have tournaments be rated, honestly. It's kind of a scam. There's like one guy in some kind of office somewhere has to type stuff in a computer. Like, seriously. It's just another scam how FIDE can make money for their corrupt politicians. They don't really need that much money from tournament fees. So that the FIDE sport politicians can go on holiday to Dubai to watch the World Championship or something. It's corrupt like everything else. Everything is corrupt. So we have played this type of line before. But I don't know the theory here. You got me. I'm starting to rant. Ranting how much I hate FIDE. I mean, all organizations are corrupt. All all sporting organizations are corrupt. Pretty much. Olympics, any individual sport, you know, whatever you want. But chess is no exception. But yeah, you just asked about having tournaments rated in the U.S. So I start ranting. Castle. We will castle. Okay. When in doubt, rant. Alright, now knight c3, rook d1. It's the rant that everybody wants to watch. I'm really bad with the chess part. Random ranting. The beer does help though. My friends think that the alcohol makes me angry, but actually it calms me down. You should see me like without alcohol. Imagine how angry I would be if I didn't have beer to drink. That's like the time that John Fedorovich tried to kill me because I took one of his beers. Like, he literally like threatened my life because I took one can of Budweiser. We had decided we had appropriated 3 cans of beer for each other when the round was over, and I took 4. And that was basically very nearly the end of my life. I don't know what to do. I suppose rook d1 is playable. Yeah, I was like, seriously, a Budweiser? An American Budweiser? That's his favorite beer. It's unbelievable. Like, I kind of get it if it was a Czech Budweiser. But really an American Bud? Like, threatening someone's life? I thought, oh, it's just a Bud, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's the principle of the thing. You don't take somebody's next to last Budweiser ever. The problem, like, we were at the ski lodge in Vermont, and there was basically no way to get more late at night. It was like the summer, and the ski lodge was half closed. So it was like, it wasn't possible to go out and buy more. You know, he was losing his mind. But I still, thought he overreacted slightly. So what are we doing here? How's my development? Pawn takes d5. Why don't we just do this? How's my driving? Zell Poker said he knew a guy with 2200 FIDE. How was crushing 2600 constantly when he was drunk? Maybe he wasn't confident without that. He had the ability, but somehow he had fear or something, and it helped him. I think it relaxes me, to have 1 or 2 beers. I'm not going to claim that having more than that is beneficial. But I've played a lot of tournament games when I was drinking beer and stuff. And I don't think I played worse than when I wasn't drinking beer. I will say, though, that I don't play, like, tournament poker seriously when I'm drinking. I mean, I guess if it was like the World Chess Championship, I wouldn't either. But, I don't know. Poker is different. Shouldn't be, but I try to avoid drinking. So do I have anything here? I wanted to play knight c3, but I'm going to drop that pawn. So knight c3, knight d4, queen d4, queen takes b2. How much compensation do I have? Rook b1. He always has this coming in. I mean, obviously I can take on c6 and fix his pawn structure at some moment. Maybe I should just do it. Allow him to fix his pawn structure. Take, take. The other possibility is just letting everything trade. Knight c3, chop, chop, chop. Queen takes b2, knight takes d5. Queen takes d4. Maybe knight e7 check, king h8. Rook takes d4. I just don't think I have enough to win here. For the English NM title, yeah. I always tell the story how I played Luke McShane when he was a little kid. And he could barely sit in the chair, and I was like drinking a pint of beer. It was kind of funny. I think he was like 11 or 12, I don't know, 11 years old probably. I think he was like 11 years old the first time I played him. It seemed like he needed like a telephone book to sit on at the table till he was high enough for the board. It felt like that, although I'm probably just making that up and exaggerating. And I'm sitting there like drinking pints of beer while playing this little, almost like toddler. Yeah, you're having your standard simul on Sunday. Yeah, every Sunday. I almost never miss it. Thomas, are you back? And I owe you revenge for the last time when you beat me. I guess rook d2 is not a good move here. So there was knight takes d5. I don't even know if Schieberspieler could win this position. My advantage is so microscopic. Rook takes d4 or knight e7 check. But I have my doubts about 10-year-old really being 10 years old. It's almost like Uber driver's identity. We should have a survey, Mr. Coffee. All those who believe that 10-year-old is aimed after Scotch, and all those that believe that he's actually 10 years old. And I never really thought about it, but is I 10 Y old? I never thought about the I before. It's kind of an implication. Should do a poll. He's been 10 years old for like 3 years. That's true. Zell Poker, are you playing? I haven't really been... I mean, all my games are like the longest every round. So I never have time to actually look at the standings of this tournament. I'm going to have to make a bigger like break in between rounds. Because like every single round I have literally the longest game. It's my style. I seriously think that my chess results when drinking beer, preferably not strong alcohol, harder alcohol, but when lightly drinking were probably as good. I won't say better than when I wasn't drinking any alcohol, but not worse. How's our driving? Rook a7, rook b6. Rook f4, rook b. What is the meaning? Mr. Coffee really did it. What is the meaning of life? The chess dentist. Beer's trigger fighter flame mentality. I can't believe I'm messing this up. I actually screwed this up. Wow. He played it badly and then I still didn't win it. Unbelievable. I can't believe this just happened. He was like winning on rook b1 or better. It was not a well-played endgame. I hope you're not talking about this. I certainly hope you're not talking about this endgame. It's a question of who played worse, and I think it would be very open to discussion. You don't ask me who played that worse, because it would be very, very hard to say. Oh, your opponent. Okay. Well, I know mine. So we got a minute left. Sparkle Horse with 4, Bolt Blixen 3, 10-year-old 3, BM 3, Sumer 2.5, Chess Video World 2.5, Mikhail Tal 2.5, Yevgeny with 2, Uber Driver 2 and out, Arsenal 2, AP 2, Goo 1.5, Stavargan 1.5, Ruslan 1, Don't Cry Wolf 1 and out, Hiroku 1 and out, Asterbait 1, Tomas Trinson 1, Gomez Garcia half and out, Mahor Ofer, Princess Chess Ofer, Lawrence and Locker Guide Ofer. Where's Arsenal fan? There he is. He lost to BM twice? No. I'm trying to see who he lost to the first time. Well, that's freaking me out. 12-year-old. He lost to 13-year-old in the previous round. That was a horrible endgame by both of us. I think I was even almost losing. Like when he has Rook B1 near the end. I'm like, what? Am I lost? I could have queened, but he's like taking my rook. Maybe not. Were we both queen? BMW. From Germany. Alright, what am I going to play today? I hope he doesn't play E4. Whew, that was close. Alright. He did not play E4. I'm just bluffing. I don't really know the French too well. Thanks everybody for joining us. Tomorrow Weird Openings Wednesday from 11 a.m. Thanks Mr. Coffee again for donating 300 bits. We got a follow from Hugo Aloscuro. And Astrobate gifted a sub earlier I didn't even see. Dude, you gifted a sub to Thomas Frankson. Very kind, Astrobate. Thank you. So, Hippo. My greatest win of all time against Alexander Onishuk in the U.S. Open in 2001, I think, or 2002. My greatest upset victory. I beat a 26-60 with the Hippo. He's just playing d5 so fast here. It's kind of a weird move. Makes him play d5 so fast. Yeah, I understand you're blotting my bishop out, but my other bishop is strong. 10 years old. Yeah, he's now 13. So White's just playing g3. Blast it open. Blast you. So what happens if I play c6? This is not a joke. Knight a6. Knight a6. Just gotta watch the diagonal. I can get destroyed if I'm not careful here. I guess we'll just do normal hipple. A little hipple-tipple. Astrobate with the donation of the gift sub. Thank you. Normal hippo. C6. Or not c6. So we could play c5. Very sensible play by White. Sensible. Oh well, it's just a hippo. Hippo is a dangerous animal. Be careful. Against Onishuk, I didn't castle. I left my king in the center. Uber driver says I never castle. So I left my king in the center and eventually like walked it over to like c7 or something. It was an absolutely insane game. I don't even know if I have the game score. Probably couldn't read it even if I did have it. I hung a rook in time pressure. So anytime I play knight c5, he's coming with a b4. Hear those guinea pigs? Spoiled guinea pigs. Nothing worse than a spoiled guinea pig. Seriously. And he's set up very well here. Bowmaster. Trying to figure out what does BM13 stand. Now we need to have another poll. Hans Bowmaster. I always thought that was a cool name. Bowmeister. Bowmeister. Knight c5. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea. White's gonna play knight d4 next. Take, knight d4. You can't call me the boring master for playing the hippo. Yeah, this sucks. Your basic menace. You're just a basic menace. What do you menace? Rook b1. That's an awfully solid move. just continuously plays these annoyingly solid moves. Annoyingly solid. There's like no way to penetrate White's position. It's too freaking solid. Damn it. Almost anything I do here is bad. I guess I could play pawn takes pawn. It looks counterintuitive. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, bishop a6. Suicide, probably. Close to suicide. Pretty much everything looks bad here. Does your knight want to be on b5? Does his knight want to be on b5? I think that's what you want to ask. Yeah, and White couldn't play more solidly than this. Solidified. Dubious hippo. No Benoni is a good Benoni. Right? Obi-Wan Benoni. Damn, he's got 4 minutes to my 1. That's his problem, right? That's like the Pomniachi. You're playing too fast, that's your problem. Well, that is certainly an interesting idea you've got there. Wow, look at that move. That is a great move by White. Great. Great to see it. Really happy about that. A fantastic move. Unbelievable. Wow. Knight a4. It's genius. God, what am I doing here? have 45 seconds left. Always sack the exchange. Take the lazy way out. It's like always release the tension. Human nature. Oh, he has knight takes b6. No. Arsenal, very deep. Yes, indeed. I got a very strong attack here on this diagonal. This is probably a bad move, actually. I think queen e8 is a bad move. Queen's Indian. #1 rule of Queen's Indian Club. Never leave your bishop on b7. So I have a player who's very quick. You would never know it to like look at his account. He doesn't have any bullet games. He's not messing around with the time-consuming maneuvers. I get it. I was hoping to maneuver my like I was hoping to maneuver my knight to c5, but I'm finding it difficult to do that. Probably I had better moves, like bishop a6. What does he do after bishop a6? Yeah. I know. So that's the problem with not calculating. You miss stuff. How's that? He sidestepped bishop a4 there, by the way. I had that sneaky trick. He has a minute more than me. You made few points the last couple of weeks. You reached my peak at 2450. Zell Poker's 2400 again. Oh, he's just made it in one. Alright. Yeah, he lost the thread there. I don't know about that opening. For me, I mean, it wasn't a good hippo. Okay, 10-year-old still playing Bolt Blixton. This is an important game for our standings. Chess Bid World in second place, by the way. So black with the inferior structure, 3 Isolani. Definitely not easy in a night end game to handle black structure. There's no way to attack that pawn on a5 though, except from b7, which is like impossible to get there. So they actually agreed to a draw. It looks like white's better, but I'm not sure you can win it. Better by only 0.3. Yeah, objectively it's a draw. It won the f-pawn. Did he have a winning move there? Oh, he actually had knight g7 check, and he missed it. Oof. Yeah, that's pretty strong. Arsenal with the eagle eye. Eagle eye Arsenal. So 10-year-old a little lucky there with that bad structure. I play both of them. I guess I'll have to play Chess Bid World. Chess Bid World can't get enough chess, so he's playing like warm-up games in between rounds. Arsenal is coming back with 3. What? Yeah, you're coming back. AP87 with 3 wins. Sumaher, 2.5. Gu with 2.5. Galtal, 2.5. Well, it looks like second and third place are still up for grabs, and we have 2 rounds to go. You're the best, Great Lazarus. Not quite as strong as some of the past weeks. Yevgeny dropped out. Uber Driver dropped out. Stapvargan dropped out. Asturbate's still in it, though. Princess Chess is back. We've got 2 rounds remaining. I need to win one more game. Would I ever do a poker stream? Not lately. I mean, I never play online poker anymore. I don't know, I'm not going to say never, but I would have to get back into online poker. There's this... I know there's a new poker site called not new, but GG Poker. But I just don't really have time. I mean, it would be too hard, life changing to start playing. I don't do things like halfway. You know, I would really have to I would have to really fully get back into playing online poker to do that. I think I'd have to to kind of really get into it again, which is very unlikely. I mean, because I honestly play tournament poker. I mean, I don't know. I play a lot of sit and goes, like tens of thousands of sit and goes too. But it's sort of playing live now occasionally. But I think my poker game has gone downhill since I cut down playing. I don't think I'm as good as I was, and a lot of my knowledge is I'm forgetting basic statistical things that I knew because I haven't been playing much in the last 5 years. You forget how to think if you don't do stuff. I mean, I probably could have done poker streaming if streaming was a thing 7 or 8 years ago. But now I'm kind of out of it. Chess Video World is busy playing another tournament, it looks like. No, I have nostalgia. Yeah, it looks like GG Poker might be legit. But the problem is, like, poker in general, it's not the trend it was. It was like a perfect storm. Everyone was into online poker and it was everywhere. You had to pause your participation in the tournament due to a telephone call. You reminded me of something funny that happened today, Thomas Transon. I went to the like fishmonger, for lack of a better word, at the market, and it's a woman, and she was like selling all kinds of fish, whatever, behind this counter, and I wanted to buy some, and she's like on her phone, and she like just wouldn't stop talking on her phone. It was like I had to wait like 3 minutes while she's like talking to some friend. I'm like, can you pause your phone call for 3 minutes so I can actually purchase something? Sorry, I had to pause your participation in this girlfriend's phone call while I purchased something from your shop. That was weird. Like, normally people are like, oh, okay, I've got someone, I'll talk to you later. She was just like, didn't care. It was funny. She just didn't care. I waited there for like 2 or 3 minutes, and she's just kind of like talking about, soap operas with her friend on the phone. I didn't get mad about it. It was just kind of funny, Eastern Europe is so different from the United States. Like, I guess it's kind of like still this communist, socialist mentality where we're all working for the state, so there's no sense in working too hard. It's not like, you're going to get more. You're not going to get a bigger paycheck at the end of the month if you work harder. So it was funny. My son was with me, and I was just like looking at him like, when is this lady going to like get off the phone so I can purchase my fish now? It wasn't like an emergency. She was clearly talking about, gossip or some kind of unimportant stuff. I remember I won a game of this line on another subject. I won a game of this line years ago against this guy, Rafael Ferdzik. Polish 2200 who used to play at the Marshall. I don't know whatever happened to him. He was kind of a character. He lost in like 15 moves or something. I don't remember how that happened. I can't remember if he played queen d6, queen b6, c5, queen b6, queen d6, c5, maybe a5 is a move. This doesn't seem right though. While playable, releasing the tension here just doesn't seem correct. Whilst playable, I mean, coming from America, people are so work-oriented. You'd never, I mean, there are lazy people everywhere, but she put down her phone, and like even after she started to like get what I wanted, she still like stood it up on the counter, and she's like talking to her friend. I was like, damn. A video call while selling fish in the market. So Chess Video World, speaking of video call, Chess Video World actually was late to the game because he was playing a third-party game before the round started. I was wondering if I could sack a piece here with knight takes c6, but I don't think that's going to fly. So, f4. What do I do here? Seriously, f4. Seriously, f4 is not that great. It's not that great. I am disappointed with my position. I could play f4, knight takes e5, d takes e5. But man, that white square bishop is kind of scary. It's kind of scary. I don't know what to do, boys and girls. This is lame. This is lame. And I have almost nothing. But I guess a draw would be alright for my tournament standing. I already should have had a few draws. To be objectively honest. I've already won a couple of drawn positions. Learning from Magnus. Winning drawn positions is my thing. Alright, what's happening in the tournament? Arsenal. Video World. And my last opponent, 10-year-old, were doing well. Uber driver had to leave after going 2-0. To drive some Ubers. Yeah, I'll have to check out the GG Poker, Bogachog. I don't really like Poker Stars. And other sites seem lame. But I just don't have time in my schedule to play online poker. It's too much of a time constraint. Yeah, this guy's good. This guy is good. So what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us. We're going to be back tomorrow with Weird Wednesday, unusual openings. We'll play some Blitz from 11 to 1 tomorrow morning. Balkush. Balkush hasn't been on in a long time. Balkus. Trading. Day trader. Trade dater. I have nothing. Have nothing, will travel. Yeah, honestly, if you guys see, my rapid rating is actually now, it's now inactivated. I have rapid question mark. In addition to my classical question mark, I have rapid question mark. What I don't understand is the correspondence question mark. Like, I've been playing correspondence games pretty continuously. Blitz I haven't played. I'll have a Blitz. I'll have a Blitz question mark soon. I haven't been playing any rated games at all. Like, so solid. Yeah, I guess we gotta play A5. Try to break up his structure. That's the point. The big island. The side with the bigger island is theoretically better. In most cases. That's the hardest thing to learn, I think, mastering pawn structure. Black with 2 pawn islands here. So I eliminate my Isolani and then target whatever's left of his queen side. The remains of the queen side. I guess rook takes and triple if possible. We can easily triple. He is defending laterally this pawn here. Clearly that's an important function. Okay, so let's say I just play like queen c2. Let's do this first. Then queen c2. See, the problem is even if I win a pawn, it's probably still a draw because of his 3 against 4 kingside. What's your favorite dinosaur? Basically, yeah, this is like the Brontosaurus. It's like the Flintstones. When Fred like slides down the dinosaur. It's like a Brontosaurus tail. And that's his like neck over there. Yeah, it's fun to talk about the pawn structures and shapes. I usually refer to the car. It's obviously better if you're, on some sort of hallucinogenic drugs or something. But I try to stay away from that. So, winning a pawn, I guess. He tricked me. Two can play at that game. Well, I don't really want to get back rank mated. So that's an issue. Neither does my opponent, apparently. Rook innings definitely a draw. I mean, this is a draw, theoretically, but I have an obligation to try to win. My chess obligation as a chess master is to win pawn up endgames. Do my best, Magnus Carlsen imitation. I'm quite lucky here, as he immediately blundered it. Quite lucky, again. The only rook there, right? Queen f7. Yeah, he has no chance to hold this. The old Nigel Short trick. All right. Lucky again. 2 minutes left. Again, the longest game. We only have half the opponents remaining, it looks like. Another win in a drawn position for me. Now I can take the last round off. Withdraw. So if I withdraw, do I still win the tournament? I don't want to do that. That's not very sportsmanlike. Do you still win the tournament if you withdraw? You still win the tournament, right? They should use a different word like pause. I will get paired with Asterbate? Uh-oh. That'll be awesome. Actually, Goo is in there. Probably not. I'm not going to get Asterbate. Not this time. Goo. I haven't played Arsenal, right? Can I get a half-point buy? No, I gotta go for the full point. Sparkle Horse in first place. BM, Arsenal tied for second. Then 10-year-old Video World, Bolt Bliston, Goo, and Mikhail Tal all in a group with 3.5. AP, Ruslan with 3. Sumaher stopped arguing with 2.5, etc. Asterbate not having a good night tonight. There's Arsenal. Asterbate's 2. So the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed finally showdown in the last round. Asterbate's too much classical chess now. This is too fast. This time control is too fast for him. Oh, there it is. The Alapin. That's what I was afraid of. Did I play this against you yet? I can't remember. The Sladgie pre-retirement variation. Wait, what was this now? I have to take now, right? Pre-retirement. Do we have this already? I just looked at this with someone yesterday. Who was it? Vital Levente has a game with white in this position. Arsenal. Though he didn't... I don't think he played it right. He beat some guy. Maybe B4 was a move? Let's not and say we did. I don't want to allow that b4. Someone did b4 against me. Maybe it was a3 and b4. I can't remember, but I think it was some random opponent I played in an off-stream game. But Arsenal, I applaud you for not being a chicken, because like any real chicken would have played knight takes d4 here, trying to trade pieces and go into a wimpy endgame. You know? Thanks for not being a chicken. Is it even a good move to play bishop b4 check? I'm not sure. Is it a loss of time? Maybe. Yeah, I think you've played this correctly. Queen takes with the idea of king e2, and honestly, I looked at Levy's game. It was in fact yesterday. He had some 2300 he beat, where his opponent put his bishop on d6. But I'm not sure I understand exactly putting the bishop on d6. For some reason, it feels better. It feels more natural to put the bishop on e7. I mean, I don't like my queen not having like retreat squares in this position. So I think this is better. It's not probably the exact same position. I think like Vito Levente actually castled in his game against this random guy, but in retrospect, maybe bishop b4 check is a mistake. You know, I haven't benefited that much from this. I think that still black has a solid position. It's better than my usual c3 Sicilian. I'm not like worse. Not necessarily worse anyway. Maybe I'm worse. I don't know. But it's not clear. Maybe looking at the games I was results oriented. That's the other thing. Maybe the guy played alright. Maybe bishop d6 was alright. I don't know. Arsenal fan. Arsenal fandom. Oh no. Wow. You're really going to play b5? He went for it. Well, I don't think I have too many options. Instinctively, I didn't think you should do that, but maybe you're justified. Not aggressive enough. Where's Uber Driver to tell you, like, Uber Driver never castles. I mean, Arsenal fan never castles. I was explaining to one of my students yesterday that there's like two ways to play the c3 Sicilian. There's basically like the aggressive style and there's the chicken style. In chicken c3 Sicilian, we play for like piece takes d4 and grimy, boring endgames where you're trying to win with your queenside majority. In aggressive c3 Sicilian, white is playing for an attack, normally castled kingside. Now in this case we see a different perspective. Now maybe I should take this opportunity to play knight to c4. What's his plan basically? Rook c2? Like seriously. Maybe I should get my knight back in the game. I'm threatening knight takes a3. I'm threatening maybe to eliminate that bishop on e3. Or at least it's something I can do. if I have to. It's not all bad. And my knight's not an idiot sitting on a5. I rewrite the code so Sparkle Horse is paired with with Asterbait. He lost his queen. Step Vargan lost his queen 3 times. 3 times is lucky. This is where I really started trying to stamp Arsenal fan out. He was doing too well against me for a while. So I make an extra effort to beat Arsenal fan. You see that? Draw, win, draw, win, draw, draw. That was enough. That was enough for me. Alright, so I don't really want to take your bishop on e3. But what can I do? Draw, win, draw. My knight is just hanging out there in the wind. Wind runner. Wind knight. Nice outpost. Do I have e5 or some kind of cool tactic? Never. There are no weaknesses in your position. Don't even worry about it. Nothing bad can possibly happen to white here. What happened to move 11, by the way? I thought he was going to play. He never made it. Sees everything. God damn it, Jerry. So e5 is possible. Bishop d6 is possible. But what does that do? Knight d5 is possible. What does that do? Knight d5. Interesting. Ooh. I kind of like that. Knight d5. I've got knight b4, pressure on this, pressure on this. There's the shelf square. Elf on a shelf. So I had a crazy idea. A crazy, grinchy idea. You just like, because I played rook c4. You wanted to do it in your own game. So typical. Dude, what is this? So you're just stopping knight b4? Damn. This is such a weird position. Wow. That's nuts. You have a trick here? 93. Wow. 93 G4. I was like, nah, he can't possibly do that. I take with the knight. G4. Queen H6. H4. Bishop F4. And then G5, Queen H5 back. My queen is almost trapped. But this isn't horseshoes. But he also has another option. Whoa, this is crazy. Yeah, man. Rook C5, knight takes D1. And I'm threatening knight C3 check. It's crazy. Yeah, that was an astute tactical move. But, you can't take on G5. Rook takes D4. No. So it looks like I have to play F5 here. As dangerous as that is. Don't love it. Yeah, this looks extremely dangerous. But it's just the time. I need this time to get out of here. Get me the bleep out of here. Join late. You did all I could, so you won all your games with late join. Get me the bleep out of here. The elf on the shelf. I have rook takes d4 there. Or here. Rook takes d4. e7. Queen takes e6, also not great. Okay, well we gotta take it. I've got another one where that came from. Bishop takes, rook f5. Wow. It's crazy. I think it's safer to take with the queen. Really amazing. He timed out. I don't know what's going on here. I'm better, but how much? I'm not even better, I'm worse. Thought I was better. Wow. You're up a pawn. Damn. Nice save, Arsenal fan. At the end of the day, he had 1 inaccuracy, 1 mistake, 1 blunder. I had 0 inaccuracies, 1 mistake, 2 blunders. Let's go back to Yeah, I thought I was still better at the end. Another dubious win. Goo went, wow, Goo went 4-0 with a half point bye. Crazy. He beat 10-year-old in the last round. That's definitely a minor upset. 10-year-old's about 50 points higher. BM's still playing. Wow, BM13 is fast. You gotta get this, like, which side is moving which way here. This is the white side of the board we're looking at, folks. Bolt Blixton is black. So what happened there? He went too far? No, he just couldn't stop the pawns. White has a pawn on the 7th. And a pawn on the 6th. It was too much. So tournament is over. Second place goes to BM13 with 5 wins, 2 losses, no draws. I had 7 draws. No, 7 wins. 7 wins, no draws. Perfect score for Sparklehorse with a 2700 performance. I think that's like my highest performance rating ever. But I didn't really deserve it. Like, almost all my games were not really convincing at all. Goo with 2500 performance. BM13, 2381. Third place goes to Goo. Second place to BM13. So this kind of like minor upset, you know. Second place, 2145. Third place, Goo with a late join. 2168. The 2100s outperformed the higher rated guys. Astrobate, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Mikhail Tile Disciple, who's been here on the stream regularly lately. So Arsenal, tough fight. It was an interesting game. I'll have to analyze that later. Guys, don't forget Thursday, speaking of analyzing, is our analysis stream. So I've got submissions from Astrobate, Arsenal, a few others. If you'd like to submit a game and you're a subscriber, please do so. Sending me a message here on lichess. Again, Sparklehorse, BM13, Goo, top 3. Good job, guys. That might be... I don't know if that's the first time Goo is a top 3 finish. Arsenal fan with 4. Tough fight throughout. If you look at the top 4 players, none of us had a draw in all our games except for, you know, half point bye. So a lot of fighting chess. Ruslan got to 5th. He's known for his time skills. 10-year-old with 3.5. Chess Video World 3.5. Sumair 3.5. Thanks, guys, for playing all the games, staying with the whole tournament. Because a lot of people leave. Bolt Blixton. Mikhail Tile Disciple with 3.5. AP87 played all games. He got 3 points. Stapvargan missed just 1 round and a half point bye, so you got 2.5. Viktorovich had to leave or was disgusted. He lost to me and he was angry, so he left. No, he said he's rusty. Uber Driver had to go. Astrobate got himself a win in the last round against Mikhail Tile Disciple. Way to go, Astrobate. Finally pull out a win there. We were getting worried. Thomas Strangson, thanks for playing. Princess Chess, Don't Cry Wolf, Faroku, J. Gomez Garcia. We had a total of 23 players with Mahar, Lawrence Duffy, and Lockerbie. Alright, guys, we gotta go. Thanks. It was an interesting battle, Arsenal. Take a look at that. But that's it. So we will be back tomorrow morning at 11. Again, subscriber stream on Thursday. I'll catch you all later. Thanks to Mr. Coffee. And as always, thanks to all you guys for watching and playing. I will see you later. Bye. Bye.